Choice 2, 14th of September.
I was tricked.
Action.
Oh, Emily?
Sorry.
No.
Oh, okay. Ma'am, you said ours was out of 25, is it out of 27?
I was drunk. You'd also be drunk if you had to mark this rubbish. Okay, let me just make an arrangement to meet your mother at parents' evening. Okay. Right, let's go. Okay. Focused. Don't use the word amount when referring to something for which you could give an actual number that was counted. You must use the word number. Okay, so the term amount is used for something that can't be counted. So you would talk about the amount of sand on Durban Beach. Can't count it. But as soon as you've got something that you can actually give a counted figure to, it's number or volume or mass or whatever. In this context, it is number. When I say to you, give it X 3 points or list 4 points or whatever, please bullet them. Because what you guys do is you start writing the first one intelligently. And then you start getting like twisted in and you're getting this whole story. And then you write a story. And then it's not individual points. And so after I've got to the first 3 things that are points, I'm not allowed to mark the rest. Then you've got intelligent stuff further on. But I'm not allowed to mark it. So you must. It helps to keep you on track. Bullet 3 points and write 3 points if it says you must give 3 points. Okay, and we want you to do that in life sciences. We want you to do it in your matric exam. We want you to do it in your PAT. Every single thing that you do, we want you to bullet it. There's only one place where we say, number, don't bullet. Other than the essay, which obviously isn't bulleted. Okay. Please don't repeat the question. You see how I only give you 3 little measly lines when I'm asking for 3 points? It's to help you to be concise. And so if you repeat the question, you've wasted a whole line. Then what are you going to do? How are you going to fit in another 3 points into 2 lines? You're not going to, so don't repeat the question. Is there anyone who needs me to explain what I mean there? No. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. Don't repeat the question. Just because the English and the science teachers have got nothing better to do than mark your rubbish. So they want you to repeat the question. No. We work hard. We don't have all this time to spare reading your rubbish. Okay, don't use personal pronouns. And I must say, you're much better than the other class. So I wasn't doing the investigation. You can't keep saying, you must do this, you must do that.
You did it there, no? You said you cannot.
No, but you cannot.
But you should say one cannot.
No. I'm very not into the one either. Students should not.
Yes, not you.
I grovel. Okay. Many students say that a particular method to estimate or count a population is too time-consuming to use. So that was your justification for not doing a direct method. You said it would take too long. Scientists are the most patient people in the world. Look at me. Okay. Patient because they want to get accurate results, reliable results, valid results. And so it's not a valid thing to say it's too time consuming. That's not a good reason. Okay. So you need to give reason why one method is more accurate than another method for that kind of organism. That's what you're looking at. And I'll give you some examples. Okay, so if one considers how long it takes for trials for new medicines, sometimes they take years. It can be 10 years before a medicine is approved, because that's how long it takes to get the trials, because the results have got to be accurate. Okay. Right.
How do they even test medicine? Because, like, what if it kills someone?
So what they do is they do 3 stages. The first stage is on a very small group of individuals.
Yeah.
They've always got to be volunteers. You can't ever, and they sign away their life, basically.
Oh.
But they will normally have done cell trials and then animal trials of the animals. Yeah, and then humans.
So they test on like bunnies and then they die.
Yeah, but normally they will have worked that out in the cell trials and the other trials. It's very seldom that you'll get a medicine that has a very bad side effect, unless it's something like for a situation where you didn't expect it to happen. So I don't know if you remember the medicine thalidomide, if you know the thalidomide story. So thalidomide was a medicine for, I can't remember what it was for. And in the 1950s, 1960s, the trials had worked really, really well. But then what they did was certain pregnant women took thalidomide. And their babies were born without arms and legs.
No.
So they were born with like the hand attached here.
Like gummy bears.
And it was because during the trials they hadn't tried it on pregnant women.
Oh, try. That's dumb.
Okay, so then they do the very tiny trial 1. Then they do a much bigger trial 2, again on volunteers. And then they do an enormous trial 3 on many, many people, also who are all volunteers. But there's a word for it. Informed consent. So they're told these are the possible side effects, etc., etc. Yeah, and pre-like 1970, clinical trials were quite unethically done because informed consent was not an issue.
Do they get paid?
I
Or is it like voluntary?
don't think that they get paid.
That's what I was to say.
Yeah.
There's this one company that paid someone like $1 million to test something, but then they died a month later.
There we go. Now, I don't think, because they need to get absolute honesty back from people. So people are doing it mainly for the, yeah, sort of, you want to be able to, like I would happily volunteer for a vaccine for the COVID, to test a vaccine for the COVID, because it's so important out there in the world. But if they pay people, then people tend to lie about the results, because they're thinking, I'm doing this for your company, you're giving me free medicine, I will say what you want to hear. Okay, and that's not a good thing, so I don't think, but they do get free medicine, so it would be something like, if I get arthritis, I could go for a clinical trial for arthritis medication because I would be getting arthritis medication free. Sorry if it doesn't work, and sorry if it's got bad side effects. But yeah, that's just what people do. Anyway, moving on. Okay. All right, so. Okay. So the question was, the method you've chosen for the count is the mark recapture technique. Justify why you chose this method rather than a direct method of counting. Look at the kind of animals or plants you're trying to count. So it is fish. One fish and another fish look very similar. They're swimming around in water. If you dive under and you start counting fish, You'll never be able to know whether you've counted that one that's just gone past you again. Okay, so it's not going to be accurate. So it is not possible to count all the fish. A dam is large, fish swim randomly, and some would be recounted while others wouldn't be counted at all. And fish are not evenly distributed in the reservoir. So a mark recapture technique is an estimate. It is possible to do in a closed system with animals that move and mix with each other. And remember, this kind of question is a comparison. It's saying to you, why did you do this one and not that one? You have to give, these are the reasons why I did this one, but these are the reasons why I can't do that one. You have to give both sides. So if I say to you, Isabella gave birth to a baby. Is it a girl or is it a boy? You would say, it's a girl because it has a vagina, whereas a boy wouldn't have a vagina, it would have a penis. You've got to give both sides of the story. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. All right.
Congrats on your baby, is it?
Hmm?
Congrats on your child.
You want a boy. Why? They wee in your eye every time you put the new nappy on. Okay, all right. List 3 facts, only one of which may be related to the method of marking used. That should be taken into account when doing this count to ensure that the results are as accurate as possible. Bullet your points. Take note of the question. Some of you lost marks unnecessarily by using more than one point that related to marking. Okay, because the marking things are really the easiest. Okay, so that the system is closed, there's no immigration or emigration, there are no births or deaths during the time of the study. The chance of the animal being captured must not change due to age or experience during the time of the investigation. The animals in the samples are able to move freely, and any one reasonable marking thing. Okay. All right, then you have to draw a table. Where's my table? I think I've got it further down. Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'll show it to you now. All right, take a sample of fish. You had to say a good means of marking organisms. Again, please bullet the correct number of points. You must take note of the question. Some of you lost marks unnecessarily by, no, I was obviously very drunk when I did this. It was nothing to do with the marking, it was by using a point that wasn't related to marking. A point. Okay, so anything reasonable, like clipping a small notch in the membrane of one of the fins. And so the points would have been the marking mustn't affect the animal negatively, the mark, or positively actually. The mark mustn't wear off between counts. The marking must not prevent the animal, the individual, from mixing with the rest of the population. I don't know what I was doing here. Marking mustn't make the individual more obvious to predators. All right, suggest a suitable time period that should elapse before taking a second sample of the fish in a real life situation. I would have said 2 days. I don't really care as long as it was reasonable.
So wait, ma'am, did you say in the previous question that population should be closed? As one of the...
Not in this one, in the previous one.
Ma'am, surely fish don't take like 2 days to swim together. They just go.
I was fine as long as you didn't say 30 minutes.
Oh, that's a lot of times.
What, did you say 30 minutes?
No,
What did you say?
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes.
My father came up with a solution on how to count each and every single one of the fish.
Yeah.
You get a gun and you have like 1,000 bullets set. You shoot each one and you just count how many bullets you left off.
But it's not meant to harm.
Oh, you're not going to miss any of them.
That's my dad's.
Is your dad a good
His dad, my grandfather used to own a shooting range, so
okay. Tell him I'm impressed with his very unethical solution to this problem.
Also, it's kind of mess up fish. What the hell? Predators in the pond.
Pardon?
I said it would kind of mess up the ecosystem in the lakes. Like
Yes.
there's predators and we killed
Yeah, weren't you doing this for some person who farms fish?
Why
Have
would
you
you want to
shooting
kill
them?
them? They have nothing to eat.
This is not me.
Fishing resort.
Rude.
You think you're ever going to be asked there again? Anyway, tell your father. Okay, here's a table, blah, blah, blah.
This table's hard, yeah.
It was a bit difficult. Okay, all right, so heading and the complete heading. You must have the original count, and then the sample 2, repeat A, B, and C, or 1, 2, and 3, I don't care. And there's some figures, and there's some figures, and there are the averages. Some of you put decimal places in the counts, but not in the averages. I don't think it's appropriate. Okay. Then you had to calculate the average, so I checked that. Then you had to use the figures in the table to calculate the number of that kind of fish in the lake. So remember, you can put the formula as an abbreviated formula as long as you put the key. Okay? Then you plug in the figures, and you should round off your answer. Okay. All right. Then you had to count them, and then you had to say whether it was inaccurate or accurate or whatever.
Now, round them off to like a whole number.
Yeah.
You can't have half a fish.
Oh, 0.8 of the
Well,
fish.
you can. It just will be eaten or something.
Or maybe shot by his father. Okay, guys, are we okay? Now, bearing in mind the state I was in when I marked this, please just count your ticks. Tony, I'm listening. I'm sure you do.
I present the case.
I would like to.
Ma'am, we got 0 out of 4 here. You can get 0 out of 4 by writing nothing. And I think we had a suitable answer here, even with 1 or 2 marks.
Do you not think I read these things? No. So this answers the question, is it a direct method or an indirect method? That wasn't asked. Okay.
But I mean, I said this.
Yes, yes, I'm reading, I'm telling you that one. No, I've told you, we don't care about time. Patience, science.
Ma'am, out of 4, I could have written nothing and got in the same thing.
How appalling is that?
Ma'am, it's also difficult to commence without harming an individual or environment.
No, because then you can't have any kind of.
But you can use specialist thing and like you can be
Go away.
point or
Go away.
not even 1 mark.
So we both
No, ma'am!
Just one to get 81%.
Oh,
Just one anyway. Just to get one.
Done that.
I know, but I'm about to take one of hers as well.
No, sorry. Scratch it.
Hang on, son. Have to say.
Why not 1 mark?
Why are you great?
It's a bit then. I don't know. We just never.
Okay, talk to me.
So why is an awful wood skip? I mean, that's not if the fish dies, then you don't have a.
Because you already said no.
Okay, but
Go away. I'll take a mark. Okay, accepted. Well, we don't want to, but... Okay, somebody take this child away from me.
No, ma'am, it's not bottom here. Because there's 5 sentences exactly, and I don't have that last one. I'll take it now.
That's not to do with marking.
Ma'am,
These two are not to do with marking. That's to do with marking.
That's like when choosing
When
this.
choosing a means of marking.
Yeah, so it's like the method of marking.
The method of marking has got nothing to do with the population being closed, etc. The method of counting.
Marking also, because you don't want to like have this whole ocean and just be like, oh, that's like, and then there's like dams and rivers that make sense to us. No, man. No, man.
Hey, get away from me. I can change your mark on Adam.
No, man.
Hey, go away.
Ma'am, I still think that's a very valid point. Ma'am,
Keep
I
going.
put it into nothing me, I got the same mark.
Say again.
It's asking if there's a line. And if it's on, because she said she's forget.
No, I was waiting for my computer to get into Google. Till I'm so sorry. So, Sydney, won't you tell her she must, when the other grade 11s are on, I must send her an invite for the other grade 11s. She must email me if necessary. Just so that she's with it when we go through the thing. Tell her I'm so sorry. Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much. Therefore, what's wrong, Robert?
Oh, I have another query to the same question.
Oh, you're changing your name to Tony. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this thing to go. Yeah, I'm listening, Robert.
Okay, so we said no harm comes to the fish, and then I don't think did we not get a mark for the type of shit we have the fish.
The what?
The fish. The type of shit in like all the fish that I guess we
So you got one for that. One for the no harm. The tagging shouldn't. Ale. I spent thousands of hours trying to work this out. 90%. No, it's the same as mine.
No, but then I could like put a hand in the eye, but then like if you heard in the tail, it's okay.
But then you must say not positive. So ale is the same as harm. Okay, sorry. Sydney, did you manage? Hey, you did it as a group. If he didn't check what you were doing, that's his problem. Hi, Kate, I'm so sorry. I was waiting for the computer to switch on and then I lost focus here. Okay, so Sydney said that you need to remind me to include you in the meet invite for the other class, just for when we go through that activity that you did the other day. Is that okay? What, love? Pardon? Oh, okay. Listen carefully to me. I will record that part of the meet and I will put it onto Google Classroom for you. Sorry, my babe. Okay, right. Sitting down, being quiet, putting your activity in my old hand canvas. Let's see who's got your activity.
It's because
And efficient. And avoid use time consuming. Apparently that's not
you work in that country. So it's like because of the menus from the work into that country, they're like disabilities.
No,
Why? I thought time would matter to biologists.
Okay, right, going.
I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that. I can't wait until we get
Okay. Right. We were busy on regulation of population size, in other words, regulating population number, and I started off by talking about environmental resistance, so I'm just going over it again, just the first few points that I made. Okay. So I said to you that environmental resistance factors were divided into density dependent and density independent. Okay. Right, so remember you've got a cycle test coming up.
We do.
Yeah, 2nd of October.
That's so close.
Okay. Now listen very carefully. And it is absolutely critical that you do not talk to anybody else about this. Okay.
Your camera thingy is on.